Hi, I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. An absolute pleasure to be able to speak to both of you today.
Hi, Sarah.
Hiya. If you could kick off with a brief introduction to this incredible new series, The Serpent Queen, and tell us a bit about each of your characters. I don't know who wants to start.
I'll let Nick go.
My name's Nick. I'm playing Antoine de Bourbon in Serpent Queen. He is King of Navarre, the first Prince of the Blood, which means that he's sort of next in line to the throne. And he's got the regency, should anything happen to the king. And he and the rest of his family, his father and brother, played by Danny Louis, they are vying to get as much power as they possibly can. So they will double cross anyone, they'll kill anyone, they will try and use their cunning and their wits, or rather Louis's cunning and wits, to make sure that they don't lose any of the power they have, and to stay as close as possible to the monarch, because they then know that they'll have the life that they want. I'm not sure that they necessarily want to be in the top position, but they just want to be close to the throne, the prize.
Yeah. And your character, Danny?
I'm Danny. I play Louis de Bourbon. He is the younger brother of Antoine. He is he's quite intelligent, and but maybe not as intelligent as he thinks he is. And he wants to stay in power, as Nick said. His family wants to stay in power for money and privilege and all the things and trappings that go with it. And he has a severe dislike of the Guise family, who are sort of our enemies throughout the piece, and he does everything he can to try and maintain the power that they have through Antoine's blood, the Blood Prince. So he's trying to make sure that he doesn't give away the regency. So yeah.
And I wasn't very familiar with this part of history. I mean, did you already know about the story of Catherine, as a queen, and what she was like? And how much did you kind of have to research around what was already there in the script? Did you go back to Leonie's book? What was the prep like for being part of the series?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you have to do a bit of research. You have to sort of try and understand the world in which they're living, because in many ways it's very different to ours, but of course in many ways it's very similar, which is why the story is so compelling to us today. You do as much research as you can, but really the most important thing is to just play the writing, play the scenes as they're written, and to be as truthful as you possibly can to what the script writers have done. That's your job, really, I think, to play that truth. When you're doing any kind of historical drama and you base it on fact, I think you kind of have to slightly veer away from the absolute truth to tell a good story. So while it stays as close to the truth as possibly can, obviously there are things that are different in our story, and it's just important to try and honor what the writer has done in the scripts.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's easy to get bogged down in all the historical accuracy sometimes, but sometimes that doesn't always make the greatest, most entertaining show. So it's obviously always about striking that balance between the two, which I think this show does really well.
Mm. I mean, watching it, just kind of the level of detail, how meticulously the sets, the costumes, everything's been executed. It's just extraordinary. So what was it like kind of being on those sets and shooting this series? And how does that kind of add to, how you can get into character? Just like putting on that costume must make you feel like you are immediately in another era.
Well, when you're shooting at these huge chateaus that are actually the chateaus that these characters walked around, you can't help but feel that sort of history on your back anyway. And it was just like Nick said a few times when we were there, we've just felt so lucky to be involved. And it was just a joy to wear those costumes and play with the other actors. And it's just, some of those chateaus are so incredible. It's so weird to walk around them in those costumes and go, oh, my character used to own this building. It's crazy.
Yeah, and they're all still so intact. I mean, it's such a long time ago, 16th century, and they're all still, there was very little CGI in those big wide shots of the chateau in the Loire Valley where we filmed. They're all exactly like that, and they're all still in really good shape. So yeah, it felt like an honor, really. These beautiful places that we were filming. It was just after sort of the first year of COVID, and so it felt. I kept saying while we were doing it, we just felt really, really lucky to be in beautiful France, filming these incredible scripts with these incredible sets and costumes. I mean, as you say, every single, the attention to detail was phenomenal, and the care and love that went into creating the world was a real privilege to be part of.
Mm.
And, what an incredible ensemble cast as well. Just like so many great faces, some recognized, some new faces. And of course, right at the center of it, Liv Hill, right, as the young Catherine, and then the amazing Samantha Morton as the older version. So what was it like working with those amazing people, in particular, these two women?
Fantastic. Sam is obviously an astonishing actress, and she really cares about the end product, and she's always there on set, and you're just so brilliant at what she does, and you really feel like safe when you're in a scene with her. And she's fantastic. And obviously watching the episodes recently, Liv is astonishing as well. And they really work well together. You really buy that that's the younger version, actually. So yeah.
Yeah, and it was great working with Sam. She's amazing, and as Danny said, she's a real. She knows everything about the filmmaking process, and she understands how it works. So you feel when you're with her, this is going to be great. If she's happy with how it's all going, then it's going to be great. And I think she's amazing as Catherine. But Liv as the young Catherine, who I actually did work with once before. We had a couple of days together on a film. And when she was probably about 16 or 17, and she's amazing. I think she's phenomenal. And to sort of those first 2 or 3 episodes, she really carries it. And she's just phenomenal. And as Danny says, it works really well going from her to Sam. I'm sorry I didn't ever get to properly have any scenes with Liv. We had some good nights out in France, but we never actually worked together on set.
No.
And the other thing that really strikes me about it, I mean, I've long been a fan of kind of period drama, but this feels like something quite fresh and different in the tone. I don't know, there's a certain ruthlessness to it. It like really captures kind of like sort of the more barbaric elements of living in that time, and kind of the mud and the sweat and the tears and everything. So was that something that felt very refreshing from the minute you read the script and also through the making of it?
Yeah, definitely. It's really contemporary and sort of like that like you say, the ruthlessness is it's quite joyous to watch. I know that sounds weird, but it's sort of incredible to watch people really, really try and win power from each other. You can't take your eyes off it at times. And I keep saying this. I think it reminds me of The Sopranos, like different warring families. And even though they're in period costume, the idea of it's all about the power and how you can win power and stay on top. And they remind me of that, the way that they work against each other, all these different warring families and characters. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because a lot of scripts that you read for period dramas, they often feel quite dry and quite, I don't know, like you're in a library, and this doesn't feel like that. This feels like you're, more like, I keep saying it, but more like you're in a sort of an action film. Certainly by the end, the last couple of episodes are, Die Hard in the Middle Ages. It's great.
And also other aspects of it, kind of like how diverse the casting is, and also just kind of like the strength of it, obviously the main female characters, both the younger and older version. You kind of think, going back to period drama, you're always going to kind of see sort of stereotypical gender roles, and this kind of blasts through that in a way. So, was that another key thing? And what do you hope people take away overall from watching it?
Yeah, I mean, Catherine was an outlier. She was an incredibly strong woman who in a world completely dominated and ruled by men. And I think that's why it's such an important story to tell today. It's I think it's so timely for that reason. I think a lot of the themes in it are really important that we tell that story today. And I think that most historical dramas focus on the men, and it's great to have a female-led. Lots of strong female characters. I mean, let's not forget Mary Queen of Scots, who is kind of a bonkers zealot, but is an amazing character. And what she did, her determination to get on the throne of France, I think it's brilliant. And I hope everyone will really enjoy that aspect of it.
Did you want to add anything to that, Danny?
No, I think Nick summed it up really well there. I can't really add anything better than what Nick just said. Sometimes you just hold your hands up and go, fair play.
And did you want to quickly tell us what you both might be working on next after the Serpent Queen? You both have something else lined up?
I'm not actually sure if I'm allowed to say. I'm doing something for Disney Plus, but I don't know if I can say what it. But I'm spending the next couple of months on that, and then after that, I don't know.
I'm doing something for Netflix that starts next month, but I'm not allowed to talk about it. And then The Sandman is out at the moment and doing really well. So yeah, those two things.
Amazing. Yeah, Sandman, absolutely brilliant as well. I saw that the other day. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure to speak to both of you, and I just cannot wait for everyone else to get stuck into the Serpent Queen. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Sarah.
Good to chat
Bye.
to you.